welcome to the team, everybody. I am so excited to meet you all. I'm very much looking forward to flying there, hopefully by the fall, so I get to meet you guys all in person. But welcome to the team, to Team Vital Health. I am so excited that you're here. I am so excited for the people's lives you're going to help to support, not only from a health and wellness perspective, but also financially. We know that, the world is in a different bit of a place right now, and financially, a lot of people are struggling. And when you look at the statistics, most people, 95% actually of the population, they work in a linear work environment, which just means they're trading their hours, their time for money. But when they stop working, they stop getting paid, right? So this is also another opportunity to be part of the 5% of the world population that is also working on creating additional income while you're sleeping. But at the same time, I love the fact that I get to hang my hat on helping people, because this not only helps them financially, but it helps them from a health and wellness perspective. And I'm a big believer in preventative health, proactive health. And when you lose your health, that is your most precious gift. And you can have all the problems in the world facing you, but when you lose your health, it becomes one major problem, because you can't have anything else unless you have the health to go along with it. So I'm very passionate about that. So when I say that I'm excited that we now have this European team, I can't put that into words, just how much I mean that from my heart. So thank you for all of you to say yes and to be here. So as Gora and I were putting this together, I wanted to welcome you, but I also wanted to share with you what brought me here, because I think that understanding how Dr. Tony got started and what fueled my fire by meeting this man and what he stands for, what his mission is, I feel strongly that that might help also, more people coming here, might also help you to feel a closer connection to Dr. Tony until you get to meet him in person, because you will. The man is relentless, and he treats everybody like family, even though he's in Mexico. When you say yes to helping humanity on this mission, he makes it his mission to make sure that you feel seen, and that you're known, and that you have his undivided attention. Because you see, he can't do what he says is that, God's gift that God placed on his heart to help humanity this lifetime, he can't do it alone. And that's why he needs people like us on the same mission that he's on. So I want to share a little bit about that. And then I think, Gord, you shared the agenda, right? We're going to then talk about what they need to do. We're going to kind of compartmentalize it, so that what are the basics that you guys need to know to get started? Gorad will do a lot more training on the products, because we've got a lot of training on the products and the scanner and how the scanner works. So I like to share with people, try not to bite the whole elephant in one foul bite, because you'll become overwhelmed. Small pieces, right, makes it stronger. All right, let me just jump right into it. Okay, so Dr. Tony. So a little bit about me. I won't make this long because it's not about me, but I spent about 23 years in corporate business, and always very much interested in health and wellness. So I'd taken courses, behind the scenes all along, and did a lot of energy training, healing, spiritual trainings, things of that nature. So chakra dance, understanding the chakras, the energy centers of the body. Did a lot of work in that area. So I was always fascinated by the human body, because our bodies are so incredibly.
Can
Oh,
you put Didi?
pardon
Sorry.
me?
Can you mute Didi?
Yep, I got it. Our bodies are so incredible, and um, they were just made and designed to heal. But being able to access that healing, or being able to be in coherence with our own bodies, has been, some of the struggle, right? So as we learn, we evolve. And so back in 2018, I became very ill. I had a breast health scare. I hadn't been feeling well for probably about 3 years, 4 years leading up to this time period. But I was a single mom. I worked in corporate business. I was traveling a lot, looking after two kids on my own fully. And then just the normal, wear and tear stress of life. But on top of that, my dad had passed away. I had to help my mom sell our childhood home, buy her a mini home, get her set up in her new mini home, take care of, all that stuff that happens. So typically what we normally do, right, is we chalk it up to we're busy, we need a little bit of a break, but all the little signs and symptoms that your body is giving you, oftentimes we don't focus on that because we're too busy trying to survive, right? Not thrive, but survive. And that's exactly where I was. I was in this survive mode. I was rescuing everybody else around me but myself. And so in 2018, I was on a business trip and I became very ill and had a left breast was on fire. I came home, I had all the testing done, only to be told that I was fine. Everything was within range on my blood work. My tests were fine. So I knew that that was not true because my body was showing me that I truly wasn't and I couldn't ignore it anymore. So I went for all the testing and I came home and I researched because my doctor said, nope, you're good. Everything's within range. So within range on your blood work just means you're not in disease stage. But I didn't know that at the time. And so if you've ever been told that, but you know that you're not feeling well, that's just the gate, right, by which doctors are trained. It's not their fault. It's just they're trained in disease management. They're not trained in proactive healthcare and in prevention. So I came home and I researched and I found a company called Thermography in Ontario. And thermography, if any of you know what that is, it is looking at the heat patterns in the body and it can detect where there's inflammation. It can detect where there is lymphatic congestion, estrogen dominance, all those things. It's really great for women's breast health. And I know in Europe it is much more widely used than it was here in Atlantic Canada. So I flew to Ontario and I had that done. And it showed me that my body was not okay. So I did have, estrogen dominance. I had lymphatic congestion. I had inflammation in and around my breast. Plus, my thyroid was very cold and a whole host of other things that were happening. So fast forward, I got the information. I really worked on healing my body, which I did through naturopathic doctors and homeopathic doctor, using herbs and adaptogens, things of that nature. But in the 5 years following, I decided to leave my corporate job and I opened up a thermography clinic here in Atlantic Canada. As a matter of fact, I ended up opening up 11 of them and trying to help people to get the answers because I didn't want people to go through what I went through. So it was one of those soul defining moments for me. But during that 5 years, here's where vital health comes in, is because during that 5 years, I talked to over 2,500 women. And these women constantly would come with the same issues. Kathryn, I feel so tired. I feel so sick. I don't have energy. I know I need to eat better. I know I need to exercise, but I have no energy, or I'm in so much pain. I just can't exercise. And you want to talk about sadness. There was so much sadness there and so much feeling of defeat and disconnection that when I used to meditate all the time, I would write in my book, how can I help my clients to feel 5%, 10%, 15% better? That was my mission. How do I help them to feel better? But you see, at the same time, I was already going through perimenopause symptoms as well. And for you ladies on the call that have gone through perimenopause or menopause, you know what I'm talking about. For the men on the call, if you're married, you also know what I'm talking about because your wife has gone through it. But it was interesting because it was a mirror image back to me of what I was also going through in some areas. So what had happened is in February 2025, a very dear friend of mine who's a naturopathic doctor, a certified health coach, and also going after her PhD, which some of you met with her, Tara Truax. She made a post on Facebook that showed herself in Mexico. And her post was so compelling to my soul that I reached out to her and I said, what are you doing in Mexico with this Dr. Tony? And she said, Kathryn, I've been thinking about you. We have to talk. So I had a conversation with Tara about what Dr. Tony was doing in Mexico, what he had been doing for 20 years prior, which then triggered me to get on a plane and fly to Mexico to see what it was that he was doing, because I needed to see for myself what Tara was telling me. So this is how I connected with Dr. Tony. So I'm going to pause that because here's the important piece. Dr. Tony's story and how he created Vital Health is quite interesting. He has a pain to passion story himself. Dr. Tony grew up in the very poor parts of Mexico, him and his brother. And he had two parents that ended up dying of chronic diseases that shouldn't have happened. And he shares with us that 68% of all chronic diseases today shouldn't even be in existence. They're not even necessary. Okay. And what he meant by that is this: he grew up watching his father, who had diabetes. His mother had rheumatoid arthritis so badly that she couldn't sleep lying down. So what they had to do is, when they were little, she would lean up against the wall at nighttime. Her arm was deformed and one of her legs was deformed. So she would lean up against the wall at nighttime to sleep. Him and his brother would put pillows and blankets around her because they were so afraid that she would fall and hurt herself. And he said that, it did something to them because they would listen to their mother whimper with cries all night long, trying to, doze off, fall asleep a little bit because she was in so much pain. And he promised his mom and dad that when he got older, he would become a good doctor. And he'd become a doctor that would really, truly help people. And he kept that promise. And so he has become a naturopathic doctor. He also has his degree in herbalism and nutrition, as well as he works in cellular nutrition, cellular regeneration. And that part is really important. And I'll explain that in a minute. But his pain to passion story, he's never lost it. And when he tells the story of his parents, and I get emotional telling the story because you can see what passion got triggered in his soul and his heart to help humanity. Because it wasn't just his parents. He feels this deeply for the planet. He really does. And you can't help but be touched by this man when you're in his presence and he tells this story, because you feel it from his energy around him, not just from his lips. They're not just words for Dr. Tony. So what had happened is that he became a doctor, and he started out, his very first lab was in his garage. And there's a little video of his daughter when she was really little helping him with his very first formulation, which was 40 Flora. And 40 Flora is gut health, because Dr. Tony says if you don't have gut health, you don't have health at all, because it starts in the gut. So that was his very first formulation. The other thing he will share with you very openly is this: his formulations didn't come from him. He takes no credit for those formulations. He will share with you that his formulations came from the Heavenly Father, and he just listened, because he says, I'm just a simple man and I make mistakes as well too. But his formulations come from Creator. And so that's how he's gotten these formulations to help people. So again, he started out in his garage, creating these formulations and literally going from community to community, helping people. And then over time, because word of mouth, he was starting to help people in these communities. Word of mouth started, he started to get bigger. He started helping more people. Then his vision became open up herbal pharmacies all around the outskirts, along the borders of Mexico, because then he could reach more people. So this was the mission that he was on before COVID, is trying to open up all these herbal pharmacies along the borders to help more people and reach more people. Then COVID happened. Now, yes, COVID has brought some not so positive things, but COVID has also brought a lot of positive things to our planet and to people. And that's what happened with Dr. Tony. So during COVID, there was a man by the name of Alex Reynoso, and all of you guys will get to know Alex as well too, because he's also part founder with Dr. Tony right now, because it was through Alex and his sickness and his father-in-law's sickness that we actually have Vital Health today. So during COVID, Alex's father-in-law became very ill, and so did Alex. and somebody in the community had put him in touch with Dr. Tony. You see, Dr. Tony helped Alex and also helped his father-in-law, who was very, very ill. And you see, Alex, prior to meeting Dr. Tony for many, many years, belonged to a network marketing company called Melaleuca. Does anybody here on the call know who Melaleuca is? Okay, so Melaleuca is a very big company, but they dealt with all natural products for cleaning products. And then they branched out to some other things, but very healthy, very natural, all come from the earth and the plants. So Alex had worked himself way up in top of this company and then had left Melaleuca and opened up labs. Now, these labs were labs that supplement companies and pharmaceutical companies would outsource their business to. So Alex already knew what formulations were out there because his labs produced it for these companies. So when he met with Dr. Tony after he started feeling better and his father-in-law started feeling better, he met with Dr. Tony to find out, like, what do you got? Like, what are these formulations? And when he realized what Dr. Tony had, Alex said to him, he said, "What is your plan?" And Dr. Tony told him, he said, "No, let me help you. You've got to get this out to the world. People are suffering. People are sick. People are getting sicker. And I know that nobody else has what you have. Let me help you." So this, and a long story around it, this is where Vital Health became, is that Alex helped Dr. Tony then to see the bigger vision of just not going outside of Mexico, but the world in general. So Alex Reynoso helped Dr. Tony to pull together in a network marketing framework. Now, this part's important because Dr. Tony, in the beginning days when Alex shared this with him, Dr. Tony said, "Absolutely not. I'm not putting it into a network marketing company." He didn't want it in a network marketing company because Dr. Tony didn't like the way network marketing companies were set up. Because you see, network marketing companies, 99% of them on the planet, they are owned by shareholders, they're owned by banks. You know, they've got outside people that they're always responsible to. Therefore, most products, they cut corners on them. So they're not top of the line products because they're outsourced. Dr. Tony didn't want any part of that because his formulations were very important to him because, remember, they didn't come from him. These are formulations that the planet needs. He wanted to make sure he had control, but also Dr. Tony knew that the way that these other network marketing companies were set up and designed is that the people in the field that were actually doing the work, they got paid last. And every network marketing company, that's how it's designed because the shareholders, the CEOs, the board of directors, and the banks all have to be paid first. And then the manufacturing plants get paid, and then the labs get paid. So whatever's left is what the people in the field get paid. So how they designed it is this. Dr. Tony said, "I will do this on a couple of conditions. One, I own the lab and I maintain ownership of the lab. I own the manufacturing plant. We own the warehouses. We own everything. And there will be no boards of directors that have shareholder rights," right? They didn't want to outsource that. So that's how they started this company. And that's what the foundation of this company is based upon, is that they own it. So Dr. Tony and Alex, they own it. And then the Beretta brothers. So those are Dr. Tony's best friends in Mexico, the Beretta brothers. They also were very big in network marketing and they're very well known in Mexico. They're very well respected family in Mexico as well. They are known for wanting to help people. And so the four of them formed Vital Health. And you see, because Dr. Tony owns the labs, owns a manufacturing plant, owns everything, control is there, but also the field, us, gets paid first because they don't have the overhead. And because the company is in Mexico, the cost of doing business is a lot less. Right? So people wonder why sometimes, well, how come the products are so cheap? Well, because it's done in Mexico. Everything is done in Mexico. So this is the evolution of Vital Health. So it started February 2nd, 2022, and Dr. Tony's very big on numbers. So the 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So February 2nd, 2022, they officially launched Vital Health in Mexico. In June of 2025, or sorry, 2025, 2024, they launched the States. And then in March 2025, we launched Canada. And since launching Canada last March, the company has exploded. And now obviously in Europe, we've launched in mid-January. So it's still so brand new where you guys are. And I want to share that because you're the pioneers. And this is where the magic happens, is when you get in on the ground floor with a company like this that has fantastic products, but the leadership is different, right? The leadership is structured in a way that they're a heart-based, heart-led organization with big visions, big growth, and they're growing leaps and bounds in all these different countries. But where the magic happens is when you get in on the ground floor, and you guys are absolutely in on the ground floor. This is where it happens, right? So mid-January, we opened the doors there, and here we are. We're mid-March, so it's only been 2 months. But I will share this. As you open up in new countries, because you guys are the pioneers, you're going to go through the ebbs and flows of setting up a brand new country. So when we first started in Canada, there was shipping issues, right? It was taking sometimes 2-3 weeks to get our products. But that's part of the process. When you open up a new country, you're going to have these little blips. And I want to just make sure that we're talking about this because it's going to happen, guys, right? There's going to be little blips. Like, for example, right now, Gorad is taking some of these videos and stuff that we have, and he's converting everything into your language. The company's going to have that as well too, but it's not happening fast enough because we're on the ground. We're trying to open up the country. So you see the pioneer entrepreneurial spirit that Gorad has. It's perfect match for this organization. And you guys have an incredible leader because he sees the vision and he's helping to speed it up a little bit as well too, to help support all of you coming on board. That's what happens when you're pioneers, but that's also the reason why, 5-6 years from now, the salaries that you will be making will be quite large and significant, but it's because you're the pioneers and you're coming on in the early days and you're saying, yes, I want to be a part of that. So therefore, your financial wellness is also going to expand to match that as well. Does that make sense? Okay. So I want to make sure we're clear on that, right? If you don't want to be part of the growth and the learning curve, then I will share with you what Tara had shared with my Canadian team last year. And she said, you know what? You might not want to join if you don't want to be a part of the ebbs and flows and building the business. Come back in a year and a half when everything is figured out. But also don't complain that you're not making the big salaries and you don't have the big team either. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. It was quite funny when she shared that. But guys, they're not problems that are massive. And just know other countries have gone before you. So we've really figured out a lot of things along the way too, right? Before we launched in Europe. So, but the training, all of the onboarding, all of those things are coming for Europe. Dr. Tony and Alex will be coming as well. We will have events there just like we have in other, locations. But I do want to share with you just how small, how big. I mean, it's grown quite significantly that in 2022, when they first started, their first year was $1 million. The second year, I believe, was 4 million. This past year, we just finished January just shy of 100 million. So that's a lot of growth in a very short period of time. What I will share, and I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Okay, I know what it was. So what was interesting statistics that I just shared with my team about a month ago, is that there were 185,000 people that work now for Vital Health. Of that 185,000, 175,000 are in the Spanish-speaking market, Mexico, the Spanish-speaking markets, okay? The other 10,000 are coming from all the other different countries combined. So small. We've just started. Okay, so I want you to be a part of that because you are the pioneers that are going to kick off Vital Health. And Vital Health is going to become a very much household name over the next little while. And why that is because of the formulations. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the formulations because that part is really important to understand. The formulations use herbs and adaptogens, so it's all plant-based. The herbs, adaptogens, are also plants that work with the herbs that helps your body to either ramp up what it needs or ramp it down. Meaning, if your body doesn't require it, your body will not absorb it because the adaptogens are protecting. Okay? And what I like to share with people is this. Plants are nature's first pharmacy, right? We have been given, I fully believe, we have been given everything that we need on this planet to heal, to help support ourselves, but we forgot. And so when you look at yourself, I always say, we're cells, we're DNA, we're quantum, we're spirit. If you don't believe me, don't drink water or anything liquid for a week and see what happens to you. It's very much like not watering a plant for a little while. It's going to wither and die, and you will do the same. We need the cells and we need the water just like the plants do. But when you can combine herbs and the adaptogens together, it's powerful. But what's more powerful is this. This is the key. Dr. Tony and his scientist, Dr. Gustavo, have it down to what's called micronutrients. Micronutrients, he has it at a 0.08 nanometer. This part's important because at a 0.08 nanometer, it means the smallest size particle that can get into the cell. All of these formulations have that 0.08 nanometer. So what it means is that the cell is absorbing it. It's getting into the cell. This is why these products, these formulations, are supporting people's health and well-being because the cell is able to absorb it. The cell absorbs it, the light switch turns back on, and then the cell remembers what it's supposed to be doing. Dr. Tony shares this openly, and he will state it over and over again. There is no pill or supplement on the planet that will ever heal you. There just isn't. The body was designed to heal. The body knows how to heal. We just need to give it the right nutrients. So when you can get that plant-based medicine into the cell, that's where the magic happens. Okay? V Daily is our drink, our green drink, lime drink. And just so you guys know, when it says lemon, it's actually lime, but in Mexico, lime is actually lemon. So just so you know that. But the green drink V Daily is all of your minerals, nutrients, vitamins, amino acids, and prebiotics in a drink. So I'm going to share with you for myself personally, that one bag has saved me over $250 a month in supplements that I was buying at the health food store. So I'm not buying my B vitamins, my selenium, all of those things anymore because it's all in my green drink. But I'm going to share with you that is your level set foundation of the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that your body needs at a minimum on a day-to-day basis. And most people aren't getting that, even if they say, oh, I'm eating healthy, 80% of the time, because our food source and our soil is so depleted that we don't oftentimes get our basic minimum nutritional value. So why I'm sharing this with you is because my clients, within 3 to 5 days, they're noticing a difference. And the difference is because the body is absorbing it and it's feeling it and it's making a difference. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you as an example. So knowing that there's micronutrients in that, guys, that's the key. And that's where I'm seeing the key is as well too, is because people's bodies are able to absorb it. So that's kind of that piece on Dr. Tony, how we got started. There are videos of Dr. Tony in boards, Scorad as well too. It's called The Founders. There's a video of him there way back when they first started in Mexico. I love that initial day video because he talks about his mom. He's talking about why he got into this. He also talks about the meeting that he had with Alex, where he was not in the beginning days wanting to put this into network marketing. So it's a really nice video to be able to watch so you kind of get a little bit about Dr. Tony, but his passion for helping people and to making sure that you guys are taken care of as well as all of us, it's real. Okay, it's very real, and you'll get to see that when you meet him. Okay, so now that you're here and you're an affiliate and you're going to do this as a business and help people and do scans, the scanner itself is amazing. So I'm going to stay on that topic for just a quick second. This past week, so I do a lot of work with women 40 plus because, perimenopause and menopause is a big deal. And we're just starting to talk about this openly now. So I've been doing a lot of events around that. There is a menopause documentary that was done with a lot of doctors. And part of that documentary is talking about how AI, the use of AI in medical and helping people to support their health and well-being is one of the key uses of AI. Okay, so even medically, they're talking about the fact AI, a really great use of AI, is from a perspective of helping people to understand their health and well-being. And you see what we have is that scanner. That scanner is quantum, and it's taking a signal from your body cells on what are your body signals. Now, guys, I'm going to state this. This is not diagnostic. Okay, so you have to make sure that when we're scanning that people understand this is not diagnosis. We are not saying that you have a heart condition. What we're saying is that if it shows up in your scan, your body is sending a signal. And that signal is your check engine light that is coming on in your vehicle that's saying, pay attention to me. I need a little bit of TLC. And just like your car, if you keep ignoring that check engine light, it's eventually going to leave you stranded on the side of the road. Okay? That's what this scanner is all about. It's given people an idea of what is starting to happen in the body, or maybe what the body's already been dealing with. We're going to take a look here. For those of you who may not have had your scan done yet, I'm going to share this with you. Everything in green is normal. Everything in blue is your mildly abnormal. Dr. Tony does not obviously address anything that's in green because it's normal, nor does he say to address anything that's in blue, because guess what the blue is? The blue is your body's natural ability to handle it. It's ebb and its flow. For example, today, my estrogen might be really high, but the body's going to deal with that and then bring it back down and I'll be fine again tomorrow. Okay, so those are those little nuances. The body is the ebb and flow. What Dr. Tony looks at is the yellows and the reds. So everything to the left of the green is on the low side. Everything to the right of the green is on the high side. So low means it's low. So for example, if we were testing your B vitamins and it shows up on the left side, it means your B vitamins are low. If it's on the right side, it means they're high. Now remember, you're not providing a diagnosis, you're just providing information that's being collected from their cells. So for me, all of these two charts here, there's 33 items, guys, and I only included what was yellow and red. 33 items last March. I had no idea. Okay. I was exercising. I'm big in exercise. I was eating healthy because I like to say I'm not a health nut, but I eat about 80% of the time very healthy. Thought I was taking good care of myself, but other things were happening again that I had no clue. Perimenopause there's 130 different symptoms of that thing. But here's what was happening underneath my cardiovascular. So heart related, remember, 80% of, the death in women is caused by heart disease. So look at all of the cardiovascular things that I had going on, right? I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items under cardiovascular that was happening. Had no idea. I had gastro issues. I had liver function. My liver was fatty. Now, most people think that fatty liver comes from people who drink. That is not the case. Nowadays, the number is 93% of the world's population has a fatty liver and they have no idea. And it's because of the toxins that we are subjected to, what's in the air, what's in our water, et cetera. But you see, your liver does 2,000 jobs in your body every single day. So when the liver is congested, it's just like your car filter. When it's congested, it doesn't work well, right? There's other things that start to happen. So there was a lot going on. So I wanted to show you that. So that's March 2025 before I started, taking these formulations. So now I'm going to go over here to the next one. So this was March 2026, the very beginning of March. So I started with 33. I now have 13 left, but every single one of these are going in the right direction. And all I've done for this past year is I've stayed true to just taking the formulations. I feel 10 times better, obviously, than when I did before. But that's the power of this quantum biofeedback scanner, is that it gave me direction and it gave me, okay, I know what I need to do. So that's the first part of this. And then what you do is you take your report, you put it into our second tool, which is called Ask Vital. And it's AI, closed AI program with Dr. Tony's information added in. And it will give you what your top 2 priorities are for the next 60 days. Because remember, I had all these things going on, but you're not gonna go and address all 33 things. So what I did is I started addressing the main pieces that were causing the biggest issues, because it's like a game of dominoes. When you focus on priority 1, priority 2, and you're healing that, every other things start to heal because of it, because they're related. So it's about getting to the root cause signal and focusing that root cause signal, and then other things start to happen. Okay, make sense? All right, so that's the power of this. But I love the fact that doctors are now also sharing with people that AI technology is very important from a health and wellness perspective as well, too. It's really giving you some good information, okay?